Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome to English Compulsory for ATPA ATPS. It is the second semester and the topic is Introduction to Poetry. The poetry is an important type of English literature. First of all, we will see what is poetry. Poetry is arguably the purest form of writing. Poetry is a sense of the beautiful. It is art. Like art, it is very difficult to define because it is an expression of what the poet thinks and feels and may take any form the poet chooses for this expression. Poetry is not easily defined. Often it takes the forms of verse, but not all poetry has this structure. Poetry is a creative use of words which, like all art, is intended to stir an emotion in the audience. Poetry generally has some structure that separates it from prose. William Wordsworth defines poetry as poetry is the spontaneous overflow of powerful feelings. It takes its origin from emotions recollected in tranquility. B.B. Shelley defines poetry as the expression of imagination. It is musical composition in which a poet expresses his thoughts and emotions. The word poetry is derived from the Greek word poiesis, meaning making or creating. Poetry is literature in verse form, a controlled arrangement of lines and stanzas. What is a poem? A poem is a piece of writing that uses imaginative words to share ideas, emotions, or a story. The elements of a poem may include voice, diction, imagery, figure of speech, symbolism, rhythm, and rhyme. There are three major types of poetry: the lyrical poetry, narrative poetry, descriptive or dramatic poetry. The lyrical poetry is the commonest kind of the poetry of self-expression. Man has always liked to pour out his intensely felt feelings and emotions, and hence the lyric is among the earliest forms of poetry to be written in the literary history. The lyric is the most common type of poem. In modern literature, it expresses the feelings of a single speaker. It is a short poem. It deals with a single emotion. It is musical. It is characterized by intensity and sadness. And spontaneity is another important quality of a lyric. Shelley's To a Skylark is an important example for a lyric poem. An elegy is a kind of lyric. The elegy is an expression of emotion of sorrow, sadness, and despair. In short, the elegy is a lament, a lyric of mourning, or an utterance of personal bereavement and sorrow. There is another kind of elegy known as pastoral elegy, in which the poet represents himself as a shepherd mourning at the death of a fellow shepherd. Its example is Adonais by P.B. Shelley, written at the death of other poet Keats. Then comes the ode. The ode is a special kind of lyric. It also originated in ancient Greece. The Greek poet Pindar was the first to write odes, and later on the form was practiced with certain modification by Roman poet Horace. The word ode is simply the Greek word for song. It is in the form of an address. It has lyric enthusiasm and emotional intensity. Its theme is dignified and exalted. The development of thought is logical and clear. The famous odes of Keats are seen in English literature. The sonnet is a short lyric of 14 lines. The first 8 lines are called octave and the last 6 lines are called sestet. Shakespeare's sonnets are there in English literature. Now we will come to the narrative poetry. Narrative poetry is the second kind of poetry. It gives the verbal representation of connected events. Narrative poetry includes the ballad, the epic, the idyll, the dramatic monologue. The ballad may be defined as short story in verse about love, battle, or heroic exploits. It is type of folklore. Ballads were passed on orally from generation to generation, and in this process they were much altered. So, the oral tradition changed the form of the ballad. Keats' ballad La Belle Dame Sans Merci is one of the finest literary ballads in English literature. It is a short story in verse. The narration is dramatic. It is characterized by extreme simplicity. The poet often prays to Christ and Virgin Mary, and it is extremely musical. Some elements of supernatural beings are also present in odes. Ballads. Then come the epic poetry. The epic is a long narrative poem that deals with the military exploits, deeds of valor of a hero, or it also deals with gods and goddesses. Supernatural elements play an important part in an epic. It is a long poem, generally divided into different parts. It deals with the military exploits of some hero or important personality, and it also reflects the life of the times. Paradise Lost, written by Milton about the fall of a man, is an important epic in English literature. The epic has an other kind known as mock epic. A mock epic is a small narrative poem in which the machinery and conventions of epic are employed, but the treatment is of trivial theme, and in this way it becomes a parody of the epic. Means the theme is minor one, but the elements of epic are employed. The Rape of Lock by Pope is the finest example of mock epic. The idyll gives us idealized poetic picture of life and works of rural folk in rural setting. It is neither a lyric nor a narrative, but partakes of the qualities of both. It derives its name from the Greek word meaning a little picture. Its essentials are its brevity and pictorial effect. An idyll gives us the romantic poetic glow on what may otherwise be commonplace, dull, prosaic, and dreary. It is characterized by simplicity both in theme and treatment. The dramatic monologue is a dramatic because it does not express the thoughts and feelings of the poet but of some imaginary character. It is monologue because in it only one character speaks throughout. Mono means one and log means speech. speech of one character. Browning is the master of dramatic monologues. The best example of his dramatic monologue is Patriot into Traitor. Descriptive poetry. Both lyric and narrative poetry can contain lengthy and detailed descriptions or scenes in direct speech, so it is also called dramatic poetry. Let us come to the figures of speech or poetic devices. First of all, alliteration. Number 2, allusion, simile, metaphor, symbolism, rhyme scheme, imagery, personification, theme, and stanza. Alliteration. It means that words begin with the same letter and in a same line there are many words starting with the same letter. The use of same beginning consonant sound in a line or verse. Here is the example. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. So P, the consonant, is repeated here many times. Then comes allusion. Allusion is a reference to something else outside the subject of the poem, or a reference to a famous person, place, event, or a story. For example, this essay is taking so long to write as I feel like I am writing the Constitution. Another example, you don't have to be Einstein to understand fractions. Simile. It is a figure of speech in which two seemingly unlike things are compared using like or as. There are many examples of simile. He crept into the room as quiet as a mouse. The cloud was fluffy like a cotton candy. The snowflakes sparkled like millions of tiny diamonds. He was as angry as a grizzly bear. There are many similes used in English: as cold as ice, as black as crow. For example, we mostly say her hair is as black as crow, as coal. Then comes metaphor. Metaphor is a figure of speech in which a quality is given to another thing. Means the quality is assigned to another thing and the words as or like are not used in it. As mostly the mothers say to their sons, my son is a lion. So she is not saying my son is like a lion, but my son is a lion. Here is an example. She is a snail, means she is slow moving. There are other metaphors that he runs as fast as a hare. It is a simile, but he runs he is a hare, means he runs like a hare. The camel is the sheep of the desert, means the camel moves in the desert in the best manner. Symbolism. Symbolism, it is the use of one object to of an object to suggest another meaning. So many objects stand for giving the meaning to something other. Dove for peace, as flower for beauty, and winter for death. Similarly, rose for love and beauty, and so there are a lot of symbols used in poetry. Rhyme scheme. Rhyme: the same syllable or word sounds often occurring at the end of line of poetry. The rhyming pattern that is created at the end of lines of poetry. Here is the poem from children's poetry. Uh, chil- um, Mary had a little lamb, its fleece as white as snow, and everywhere that Mary went, the lamb was sure to go. Its rhyme scheme is A B C B. If the poem does not have a rhyme scheme, it is associated or considered to be a free verse poem. What is an imagery? What is imagery? Imagery is a language that produces pictures in the mind of the reader by means of words. We can call it word picture. Imagery is the author's use of language that appeals to the five senses in order to help the reader imagine exactly what is being described. It affects to the senses of sight, touch, taste, and smell. For example, boughs laden with flowers. Boughs laden with flowers, it affects the sense of sight. So we feel as we are seeing the boughs laden with flowers. Then comes personification. Personification is assigning human characteristics to non-human, non-living things. Here is the example. The moon was resting in the midnight sky. Or death lays its icy hand on everyone. Or we also heard that it is said weeping cloud or whispering wind. These are the examples of personification. A stanza. A stanza is a group of two or more lines that form a unit in a poem. Theme. It is a dominating or dominant unifying idea in a poem which is called theme. So it is all about today's lecture. Thank you for listening. Allah Hafiz.